everyone, and welcome to my new video on this channel, Free Code School, where I aim to teach Python programming to everyone for free. So this is the part 9 of this Python tutorial series. Before this, I have made like 9 more parts because the numbering starts from 0 here. So do watch those videos if you have not watched those like other parts of this Python tutorial series. So the link to the playlist where all the videos are there will be in the description and also in the comment. So why I'm telling you to watch other videos is that, so if you do not have any basic knowledge of Python, and let's say if you are from non-IT background, I'm sure that those videos that I have made will be very helpful for you in making your basics strong of Python. So do go and watch those videos also. So in this video, I will be covering while loop in Python, which is very important concept in Python. Also, if you want to learn Python programming, like on this channel, I will be mostly discussing programming stuff related to Python. So of course, this is the starting one where I am basically teaching you how to code in Python. After like some time, I will also discuss like data structures and algorithms in Python here on the same channel. So do subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss any videos from my channel. And also, of course, I can also grow on YouTube, and it will be a good motivation for me also if you do like my videos and subscribe to my channel. And also, like if you have any doubts or something, I have like a Telegram channel called Free Code School where you can ask some queries if you have. Plus, I am also there on Twitter and LinkedIn, like Twitter Shiva Mitra 4 and on LinkedIn Shiva Mitra. So of course, I will paste the links to all of these important links in the description. So you can, fetch the link from there and follow wherever you want to. Now let me just so as I do all the all I do all the practice or hands-on on this website repl.it. So what I will do is start coding Python, create REPL. Okay, now what I will do is I will change some settings here. I will expand it, change some settings. So I will do stat indentation size is 4 and disable. Okay, this is my default settings that I always do in each of the videos. So this is where I will write the code, and also I will write some code here also in the terminal also. I will write some code both the ways, okay? I mean both the places. And also if you see my setup has changed now, right? I am on a, I am in a different room now. So my another room, like my brother is also at home and he has taken that room. So I have got this new room now. So let me now start this this tutorial like while loop in Python. So first what I will do is I will write some code and explain you how while loop works. It's similar to how for loop works, but there is some difference. So I will show you. Okay. So let's say if you have to print numbers from 1 to 5. Okay. We will do it using while loop. You can of course do it using for loop also. But of course, there are some difference that I will talk later, like how for loop and while loop differs. Okay. So let me first write this code here and I will make you understand like how it works. I will write current number. So initially my number is 1 because I want to print from 1 to 5. Okay. Now what I will do is, I know you will not understand the syntax now, but I will explain you. Okay. While current number is lesser than equal to 5. Okay. Print current number. Okay. And current number plus equal to 1. So this short form, right, current number plus equal to 1, this is same as writing current number equal to current number plus 1. Both are same actually. So if you want to write this in a shortcut way, if you want to write this line in a shortcut way, what you can do is you can put plus here and remove this thing. So both are actually same. So do not worry about this. Okay. Now let me run this program and see what happens. So it prints from 1 to 5. That's what I wanted. So how it actually got done, right? So how it printed 1 from 5, right? So let me explain that on my tab actually, because you should understand like how while loop actually works. Okay. So let me just open my tab and explain you. Okay, now let me explain you here on this iPad actually. So I have this iPad which I use exactly for teaching mostly and for reading books. Okay, so let us understand this program. So what I wrote was current number equal to 1. So this is one time I explain you, because from other time you will already understand because I have explained it here. Now I wrote while current number lesser than equal to 5. What I did was I print current number, and then I did current number plus equal to 1. This is the code I wrote. Okay. Now let me explain this code. So see, this is quite simple. Current number equal to 1. So I am basically declaring a new variable where I'm showing some integer 1. Okay. This is very quite simple. Now how this while loop work? So this is the syntax of while loop. You need to write first while, then a conditional statement here. You have to write a conditional statement here. This conditional statement can be anything. So if you remember if else video which I have covered before this, I have taught you there about what are conditional statements, like which returns true or false. Okay. So what actually happens is, see what happens with, see first the Python will run this line. Okay. After executing this line, Python will reach here. Now it will check this condition, right? While current number lesser than equal to 5. Is current number lesser than equal to 5? So current number is 1. Now is it lesser than equal to 5? Yes, it is. So if this condition is true, then only basically the execution will go to this line. So let's name this one line number 1, 2, this is 3, this is 4, and let's say this is there is no code here, this is line 5, right? So if this condition is true, whatever condition is written here is true, then only the Python will go to this line. Okay, line number 3. If this condition is false, then what will happen? The Python will directly go to line 5, because if you remember the indentation, which is very important in Python. So both of these lines are inside this while loop, similar to for loop concept. Okay. So in for loop also, if you remember, if for is there, the for loop only runs like if you provide a list in the for loop. So let's say, okay, here is my face actually, so you will not be able to see this. But in for loop also, let's say this is the list, maybe some numbers. Okay, equal to, let's say 1, 2, 3. Now if you do for, I mean number in numbers, that this code I have written before for number in numbers. So basically I am looping over all the numbers. So you know that if there are some lines here inside for loop, now basically there are 3 numbers here. So for loop will be executed only 3 times, that you know before. Right? Similar to this, now while loop actually does not depend on the length or anything. It depends on the condition here. Like what is the condition here? Sorry. What is the condition here? If the condition is true, it will always go inside the while loop and run the code. If the condition becomes false, it will directly jump to line number 5 here. Okay. So see what is happening. So at the first time, current number lesser than equal to 5. 1 is lesser than equal to 5. True. So it will go inside the inside this while loop, and it will print the number, that is 1. Okay. It will print the number 1. It will also change the value of current number to 2, because current number is 1. If you add 1 to it, it becomes 2. Now, so basically we will also keep track of the current number. So here, okay, we will keep track of the current number and output here. Okay, both. So output is 1 here at the first time, and current number became 2. Okay. Now again, what will happen? So from this, again the control will, after executing this line, again the control will go to line number 2, because this is a kind of loop which will keep on happening unless this condition becomes false. When this condition becomes false, this loop will break. So again the control will go to line 2. Again it will check current number lesser than equal to 5. We know current number is 2 now, but 2 is lesser than equal to 5. So it will again go inside this, and it will print 2. Sorry, it will print 2, and current number it will update to 3. Okay. Now again it will again go to here. Here it will check current number lesser than equal to 5. Yes, 3 is lesser than equal to 5. So it will again print 3, and it will update current number to 4. Okay. Again it will go again loop here. Again it will check 4 lesser than equal to 5. Yes, it is. So it will again print 4 here, and it will update current number to 5. Okay. Again it will go here. It will check while current number lesser than equal to 5. Yes, 5 is lesser than equal to 5. Correct. Again it will print the number 5. It will update current number to 6. Now again it will go to the while loop. Now it will check while current number 6 lesser than equal to 5. No, 6 is not lesser than equal to 5. 6 is greater than 5. Right. So now this condition becomes false. Now this condition becomes false now. When current number becomes 6, this condition becomes false. So it will not go inside this while loop again. Now the code will jump from while loop to line number 5 directly. Okay, and whatever, if there are some code here, it will execute it. If there are no code on line number 5, the program will end. Okay, so this is the understanding of this while loop, which is very important here. Okay, and I hope that you would have understood how while loop works. Similar to for loop, but of course the syntax is different. In for loop, you have like for value in something, for I in range something, right? In for loop, mostly you are using it for when you want to loop over a list. While loop is normally for other use cases that you will see in this video. Okay, I hope you would have understood this. Let's say if you had on line number 5, we have print end, just something. Okay, just run this. You will see that after printing 1 to 5, what happened? The control went to line number 5 and it printed end and the program ended. Okay, so that's how while loop works. And I hope that you have understood this concept. Okay, because I want to give you examples on how to understand the concept. Because if your basics are strong of Python, you will not find it very difficult to write, 100 lines, 1,000 lines of code. But if your basics are not strong, if you do not understand how for loop works, how if else works, how while statement works, how do you take input in Python, how does dictionary works, and like how to use dictionary. If you do not know all of this, it will be tough for you when you write, when you write like 1,000 lines of code, 100 lines of code. Okay, you will not be able to understand those. So make your basics strong. Okay, so we will now write a different program using while loop. So I will show you like what is the use case of while loop in Python, like when to use it. Okay, so in my last video, I discussed about how to take input from users. Okay, using input function. Okay, so what we will do in this program is we will basically ask user for some message, and we will just print it. Okay, and when the user types quit, then we will end the program. Okay, see how we will do this using while statement. Okay, see this. So initially message we will just declare it to empty. Like initially nothing is in the message, it's just empty. Okay, it's an empty string, there is nothing in the message. Now what we will do is we will check while message not equal to quit. So what this while loop means is that unless the message is that means that, see, when the message is quit, so when will this become true, and when will this become false, right? When message equal to quit, so when message will become quit, right, this will become false, right? And when message is other than quit, some other message, let's say anything random, then it will be true, right? That's why I am equal to not equal to. Now we will take the input from user, message equal to input. We will ask anything like from user, like enter a message, anything he or she can enter. Okay, then what we'll do is we'll just print message. Very simple program. Okay, now let's run this code. Now I am of course the user here, so I have to provide the input. I will just name it Shivam. If we print Shivam, I will say hello. It will print hello, hi, will print hi. Okay, but now I'm done. I do not want to print more messages, so I will type quit, and it printed quit, right? And then basically, so what actually happened? See, initially there in message there is nothing. Okay, now this first that control Python will go to the second line. Okay, it will check whether message not equal to quit. Of course, message is empty, which is not equal to quit. So it will go inside this while loop at line number 3. It will ask like from the user, provide me some input. It will take the input and store in the message. Then it will print the message. This will keep on happening unless you press quit. Now, when you type quit on this, here, when you type quit, that's what I have typed here. So it will again take this message, and of course I have entered quit. Okay, it will print this message quit. That's okay, fine, because it printed it. But when it goes the next time on this while loop, it will see that message not equal to quit. But that's wrong, because message equal to quit, right? So this becomes false now, and the while loop will end, and the control will go to, and basically if you have fifth line, it will go to fifth line. Otherwise, the program will end. Okay, this is good use case of while. Okay, you can also do this using a flag. I will tell you how. So this is, so why I'm telling you these examples is because these examples are used a lot in real programming world. When you are programming in real world, actually, these examples will be, you will see these examples like this type of logic actually. Okay, so I can also do something like this: flag equal to true. So what does flag? So if you remember, true means, so this is conditional, right? Conditional can be true or false. So of course you know that this match is not equal to quit. always will return either true or this true basically. Capital T, remember this, capital T RUE, not small t. Do not put a small t. Small t is different, okay? So of course this always returns either true or either false. All the conditional statements, if you remember in if else, will either return true or either return false. And T in capital letter and F in capital letters in false, okay? Now what I am doing is I am already storing like flag equal to true, okay? Now what I will do is instead of this, I will do while flag, okay? What this means is initially flag equal to true, okay, and message equal to empty. So initially I have told while flag. So of course, at the first go, of course, you will go inside the while loop because I have set flag equal to true, okay? Then what I will do is I will ask message from the user. Then what I will do is, so in the last time, what mistake we were doing was when the user typed quit, we also printed that, but we should not print it when user want to exit. Why we should print that, right? So we will take the message from user, but we will check now if message, okay, equal to quit. In case the user types quit in the as the input, we will set flag equal to false. Okay, sorry, capital F. This is important. Otherwise, if the user types some other message, of course I'm using if else here, I will print the message. Okay, if user types anything other than quit, then I will print the message. But if the user types quit, what I will do is I will set flag equal to false and I will not print it. I will not print the message. See what happens. Get a message, Shivam, printed, hi, printed. Now I want to quit. Quit didn't get printed now. The program ended. So what actually happened? You see, initially flag equal to true. Okay, while true, of course, this is true. So Python program and Python control will go to line number 4. It takes the message. Of course, for the first time I type Shiva, it takes the message, stores in message. Then it checks whether message equal to quit. No, Shiva is not equal to quit, right? Then it goes to else part and it prints the message. Okay. Next time again the control will go to while loop and third line. Again, of course, flag is still true. So again, it will go to line number 4. The next message I give is hi. It will again take the message hi, store in message here hi. Then it will take if hi equal to quit. No, hi is not equal to quit. Again, it will go into the else part and print the message. Okay. Again, it will go into the line number 3 again. While flag, again, flag is true. Again, it will ask for the message, but this time I do not want to continue. So I am typing quit. So it will take the input as quit. It will store in the message quit. It will check if message equal to quit. Yes, message is equal to quit. So it will set the flag to false now. Okay. It will of course not go into the else part. Again, the control will go to line number 3. But this time flag has become false because of, this line got executed in the previous attempt. So now we know that flag has become false. So while false, of course, while loop cannot go inside. So the control will go to line number 9. So there is nothing on line number 9. But if it was something like it was like end something, it will of course print that. Let's say, okay, I will quit in the first go itself. See what happened. Of course, for the first time it asked me message. I typed quit. It will go inside this if and change flag to false. Again, flag this while loop will break. The control will go to line number 9 and it will print end. You can also try the same input if you want to. Try the same thing and like Shivam. Hi, now quit. Same thing will happen, right? At the last end will be printed, okay? These are very important examples. So what I will do is I will copy paste this example. If I need this in the latter part, so it will be helpful. Okay. So now we will write a program to check if all the numbers are even or not. So basically what we will do is we will take input from users that we have learned in my last video that I discussed in my last video. So we will take input from the users, like it will be a list, basically a list of numbers, and then we will check if all the numbers in the list are even or not. Like, okay, how to do this? So okay, what we will do is clear this out, enter, press enter. Okay, so what we will do is we will take the input from user like numbers equal to, using input function, we'll ask the user to enter the numbers and we'll separate it by a space. Okay. Then of course we have taken the input here. So I will tell you why I am using this program. In some time I will tell you. Okay. Now what I will do is I will set flag equal to true. So how? So understand this how I am lighting the logic for this program. Okay. So I have got these numbers, but if you remember in my last video, I told you input function will take a string as the input. So we need to break this down into a list. So what I will do is for number in numbers dot split. You can either write a space here or do not write. It does not matter. By default, it takes a space as the input. Okay. Now what we will do is, of course, see what we have to check here. We have to check whether all the numbers are even or not. So even if, so my logic is that, so how I am writing this program, my logic is that, so program asks me to basically, it is asking me to check whether all the numbers are even or not. So even if one of the number is odd, my program should return that. So basically if you see the return statement, right? So it's basically what you have to output is, if all the numbers are even, output that all the numbers are even numbers. If even if one of the numbers is odd, or if all the numbers are not even, you have to output all numbers are not even numbers, right? That's what you have to do. So my logic is that even if one of the numbers is odd, then my output is basically all the numbers are not even. That's what I am doing. So I am checking if so basically I am going this for loop. Okay, I am going in this for loop. Okay, why I have used split function? Because the input, if you see, the input will be in the form of a string. Okay, something like this. uh, 1, 2, 3. Let's say this will be one of the input, okay? But I need to break this into, basically I need to break this by spaces, okay? By spaces. Then I will get basic, okay, you can do this here, see this. I have explained this in my last video, but I'll explain it again. 1, 2, 3. Let's say this is the input in the string. So if I do s dot split, sorry, okay. If I do this, see what happens. This string gets broken down into a list of 3 numbers, and it is broken by spaces. Okay, wherever there is space, it gets split from there. So you see 1, 2, and 3, but of course 1, 2, and 3 are still strings. Like 1 is string here, 2 is string here. So you have quotes here, right? All are strings. But of course, when I'm checking odd or even, I need to convert this into integer, this number. I will check how do you check if the number is odd or even. Of course, when you divide by 2, if the remainder is 0, that means the number is even. If the remainder is not 0, that means the number is odd. If number modulus 2 not equal to 0, that means if the number, basically my logic is that even if one of the number is odd, of course my answer is that all numbers are not even. So I will set flag equal to false. Okay, then what I will do is, of course, so what I have done is initially remove this one. So initially my flag was true. So initially my answer is that, so flag equal to true means, okay, all the numbers are even. And if this gets wrong in somewhere in between, when I am looping over the numbers, then I will set this to false. That's what I have done here. If any number is odd, I have set this to false. At last, I will do flag. If flag means, see, if the flag is true, then what we should print? Like all numbers are even. Are even. Otherwise, if the flag is false, sorry, if the flag is false, else print all numbers are not even. You decrease this size here. Okay, now let me run this code. You will understand how. See, it is okay now. Put it one. Okay, let me run it again. Here. Okay, let me run this program again. I will enter just 1, 2, 3. Okay, all numbers are not even. Why? Because of course 1 is not even, 3 is not even. Okay, so the answer is all numbers are not even. But what if I give input as 2, 4, 6? All numbers are even. Okay, so what actually happened, of course I took this numbers as the input, then I converted, this is a string. Initially I set flag equal to true. So initially I am, this is my guess, I am just guessing that flag equal to true means all the numbers are even. Initially it's my guess. If it is, if at some point of time, if I see that any number is odd, I will set this flag to false. So what I do is I am basically iterating or looping over all the numbers that I have taken. But since this is a string, I am converting it to a list using this function dot split. I am converting it to a list of like numbers, but still the numbers in the list are a string. So I am converting all the like this number basically over which I am there. So of course, after this, when you apply the split function, when this is applied, your numbers will be something like this. Okay, as I have shown you, 1, 2, 3. At first go, number will point to 1, but 1 is still a string. So I need to convert this into integer, because you cannot do this. Is called so using modulus. This is called modulus. Using modulus, you can find the remainder when that number gets divided by 2. Okay. So of course I need to convert that into int, because you cannot divide a string by 2. Okay, you cannot do that. So that's why I have converted int, and I check if the remainder is 0 or not. If it is not 0, that we know that it's not, I mean, this number is not even. So we have now set flag equal to false. So flag equal to false means, of course, we have found one number at least, which is odd. Okay. Now this loop will continue. It will loop over all the 3 numbers. At last, the control will go to line number 7. It will check if flag. So if flag is true, that means if there, see, when will flag become false? Think about this. When will flag become false? Only when you find an odd number. Otherwise, flag will always be true. So we check that if flag true, that means all numbers are even. Otherwise, print all numbers are odd. This simple logic, okay? Now I will explain you like why I have used this example. But if you do not understand, try to go over this program. And if you do not understand this, do ask me in the comments. Now using break to exit loop. So I have used this program, so show you example of this. So break is a statement that is used in Python. Okay, this is normally used in for loop or while loop. You can use in both. Okay, so when you use a break statement, the loop will terminate immediately. Okay, this is very important. The loop will end immediately. Okay, this is applicable for both while and for loop. So see, what I will do now is, see, understand this. Let's run this code. So if our input is, let's say 1, 2, 3. Now think about this. If you are a number 1, initially number will be point to this 1. Okay. Now we know that 1 is odd, right? Of course we know that if number, it will set flag equal to false. But do you want to continue looping over 2 or 3 also? Do you want to? Actually, we know that our answer is all numbers are not even. We know this answer is all numbers are not even. Do you still want to continue the loop? For me, it does not make sense to continue the loop, right? Since we know that, we have found that all numbers are not even. Why not to just exit the loop? Why to again waste time and also loop over 2 and 3? It's of no use. So what we will do is, when we see that any number we have found is odd, we will break this loop. Okay. What I'm doing is, so when you use break, right? When you use break, what will happen? So if you have numbers like 1, sorry, I will take this 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So initially when number is 1, so number will be 1. If number modulus 2 not equal to 0, flag will be false. But we do not now need to go to numbers 2 and 3, right? We do not want to waste time. Why should we go to 2 and 3? So what we'll do is use break. What happens when you use break? This for loop will break. What that means is, now if you are not using for loop, let's understand the case where you were not using for loop. Okay, then what will happen? Even after finding that 1 is odd, flag equal to false, again the loop will keep continuing. It will go to number 2, it will go to number 3, right? But if you use break, for loop will break and the control will not go to number 2. It will not go to this number. How can you check this? Do one thing. Basically, how you can check this? Keep printing the number here. So just print number also here. Print int number. Okay. We will also print it here. Okay. Now see what happens. We will run the code in both the ways. Let me clear this. Okay. So okay. Now run this code. Let's type 1, 2, 3 now. So what happened? The for loop went over all the numbers 1, 2, 3. That's why it printed off 1, 2, 3. But what if we use break here? Now see how many numbers it goes, right? See, 1, 2, 3. You see what happened? It didn't go to numbers 2 and 3 because when it was on number 1, this I mean 1, it checked this number of modulus 2 are not equal to 0. Of course, not equal to 0. I mean 1 modulus 2. When it was on 1, okay. Of course, 1 modulus 2 is not equal to 0. 1 divided by 2, the remainder is not 0, right? So it went into flag equal to false and it executed this break. when it executed this break, the for loop broke. I mean, it will not again go to line number 4 after this. It will go to line number 9. So once break is executed, once this break statement is executed, the for loop will break and the control will go to line number. But see, for loop starts from 4 and it ends on line number 8 because of indentation, right? So after line number 8 is line number 9. So control will go to line number 9 here. That's what you need to understand for loop. So always remember that you can use this break statement to break a loop whenever you want to. Okay. See this code I have written again here. Okay. Another example. Let me copy this code again here. This can be used in future. So paste it here. I will use again this code again, this message one. Okay. I will show you another way of using it. Okay. See, we will not use flag here. Okay. We will remove flag. And this is another good way of writing this. So we will set this to true, while true. Okay. So go into the loop every time. It's okay. Go in this loop. It's true. Let's keep on going on this while loop. Okay. But when you see message equal to quit, we will not set flag equal to false. What we will do? You know what to do, right? When you have seen that message is quit, you just break out of this while loop. Just break out of this while loop. Okay. So run this code. Shiva. Hi. I want to quit now. We just broke out of while loop, right? So it's quite simple. You do not need to use a flag also in this case. Okay, you can just use break. So break is basically whenever you write this line break, Python will break out of the loop. It will come out of the loop. So here the loop starts from line number 2 and ends at line number 7. So basically after break, directly the control will go to line number 8. So when after line number 5, when break is executed, the control directly goes to line number 8 after that. Okay? To understand this. So there is another statement called continuous statement, which is also very important in Python and which is mostly used with for or while loop. Okay. So what this continue will do is it will return to the beginning of the loop. Okay. So whatever lines are below this continue, they will not be executed and the control will directly go to the for or while loop. So I will show you like how to do this. Print only the odd numbers example. Okay. We will take this example. Okay. So this is some different example basically. Okay. So what we are doing here is, so basically what program we are writing here is that you will keep asking like inputs from the user. Okay. You will keep asking it. Okay. Unless the user presses quit. Okay. And whenever the number is, let's say, odd, you will print the number. Okay. Otherwise, you will not print the number. Okay. So you will only print the number when it is odd. If it is even, you will again keep on asking numbers from the user. And when the user press quit, end the program. Okay. So how we will write this code is while true number equal to, we will ask input from user that enter a number. Okay. Then what we'll do is if the user type this number as quit, so of course user can type anything here. If it is quit, what we will do is we will break. So see, we are using both break and continue in the same thing. So of course, when user types quit, just break out of this while loop. Otherwise, I will convert this number to int number. Okay, int number. Since I'm converting it to int because input always takes string. Now I check if number modulus 2 equal to 0. What this means is, so I have to print only the odd numbers. If the user is providing me odd numbers, then only I have to print it. But if the user is providing me even number, that means if number modulus 2 equal to 0, that means the number is even. So what I should do? I should continue. I should not see the lines below this. It does not matter to me. I should just continue to the, that means again I should ask user for another number. So I will use continue. I'll explain this what happens. Otherwise, I will just print the number. Okay, so let me run this code. One. Sorry, what happened? While true. Okay, sorry. While true. Okay. Enter a number one. Okay. Did I do something wrong? Sorry, sorry. It should be equal to good, right? That's why it broke, right? Enter number one. So it printed one because why? Because one was odd. What will you enter two? it will not it will not print to, because my logic is not to print even numbers. Okay, it will again ask for another number. So what actually happened in this case was, see what actually happened. So when you enter the number as 1, of course the while loop will keep on going. It will take the number, it took number as 1. It was checking this number equal to quit. No, 1 is not equal to quit, right? Then we converted this number to integer. So it will be in the string. We converted this to an integer. Then we are checking this if number modulus of 2 equal to 0. If the number is even. If the number is even, what we will do is we will continue. So continue means after, so when the Python will see that this continue is there, it will directly jump to line number 1. It will directly jump to the while or for loop. In this case, it's while loop, but even if it was for loop, it will jump to the for loop, right? It will actually jump to line number 1 here. Okay? So that's what happened, and the number didn't get, sorry, and this, sorry, I told you wrong. So if one modulus, sorry, when the number is 1, 1 modulus 2 equal to 0, no, it's not. So it will not go inside this if in case of number 1, and it will print the number 1. But when the input, so again, it will go to while loop again after printing 1, it will go again line number 1. This time we are giving input 2. It will check if 2 equal to quit, no, it will not break, it will convert to int. Now it will take 2 modulus 2 equal to 0, yes, 2 modulus 2 equal to 0. Now it will execute this line continue. So when continue gets executed, the control will directly go to again while loop, starting of this while loop, line number 1 again. It will not see the code, whatever code is written below this. Even there were many more lines written below this, it will not look at this. Even directly the control will go to line number 1. So that's why in the case of 2, this line number 8 didn't get executed because control directly went to line number 1. So why will this print get, it will not print the number, right? So this is a way of explaining you how continue works. So whenever so continue is typically used in for loop and while loop. Do not use it otherwise, okay? And whenever you use this continue, it simply means that the flow of the control of the program will again go at the beginning of for loop or while loop, whichever you are using it, okay? Now if you have doubt, you can ask me, okay? Now next one is avoiding infinite while loops, okay? This is, you will face this, I have faced this multiple times. So sometimes what will happen is you will write while true, okay? Then it will happen accidentally. I mean, you will not write it intentionally, but it will happen. Print, this is an infinite while loop. While loop. Okay, this program is dangerous to run, but still I will run it. Okay, sorry. Okay, while true. Okay, let me run this program. So this will keep on printing. This is an infinite while loop. See the magic. See my output here. This is an infinite while loop. Actually, this is keep on continuing. It is printing. I mean, this is the infinite while loop, right? This will print infinite number of times if I don't stop the program. Okay. So for you, it will look like, okay, this is erasing this, right? This is erasing every time, but this is not the case. This is keep on continuing printing this. This is an infinite while loop. Oh, let me end this program now. So if you see this program, this is a dangerous program, right? It will keep on printing the same thing, infinite number of times, and you do not know what's happening, right? Because this is an infinite while loop. Why this is an infinite while loop? Because you have set while equal to true. So while true means this while loop will keep on running, right? It will. So what will happen at line number 1? It will see the condition is true. It will go and print the line number 2. Again, it will go to line number 1. It will print, go again to line number 1, print this. It will keep on happening. It will never end. Your while loop will never end, right? So, but how to end this while loop, right? Of course, you can put some condition, maybe, or maybe just put break here. Okay. Now what will happen? This will only print only one time, right? It's an infinite while loop, and since I have used break, the while loop will be broken. Okay. So do remember that sometimes your while loop can run infinitely if the while loop does not have any condition to end, right? There should be some condition which should terminate the while loop. It can be either your break statement or either some condition becoming false, right? Like something setting this to false, okay? Because in this case, the only way you have to break off this while loop is using break. You cannot use otherwise end this while loop, right? But when you use flag here, while flag, of course you can at some moment of time you can set that flag equal to false, then it will also break. Okay. See this code, like this is more like, let's say x equal to 1. This is another code, x equal to 1. Okay. While so you want to print numbers from So you need to print numbers from 1 to 5 again. Okay. So you write print x, okay, and x plus equal to, sorry, x plus equal to 1. This code will run fine. It will print from 1 to 5. It works fine. But what if you by mistake miss this line, right? Sometimes maybe by mistake. It's by mistake that you miss that line. Now what will happen? Okay, see this, see your output now. It will keep on printing 1, right? It will keep on printing 1 because it will x equal to 1, x is equal to 5, and it will print 1. Again, it will go to line number 2. 1 is not less than equal to 5. Again 1. It will keep on printing 1 infinite number of times, right? You will not understand what's happening with my code, right? So do take care of this. Like always have some breaking condition, right? So here our breaking condition, sorry, stop this program. So here our breaking condition was that we are doing x plus equal to 1. Of course, we know that at some moment of time, x will become like greater than 5. At that moment, our while loop will break. So till now, we have been using like for loop. Whenever we are using list and we need to loop over the list, we have been using for loop till now. But for most of the cases, we have not been modifying the list inside the for loop, right? So what we were doing is mostly we were accessing the list inside the for loop. We were not modifying the list. We were not using append inside the for loop, right? Because sometimes it can be dangerous if you use append and everything inside the for loop, okay? So it's better that if you want to modify the list, like if you want to delete some elements from the list, right? Or like you want to delete multiple elements, it's not one element. If you want to delete one element, it's quite simple. You do not need to use for loop for that. But if you need to delete multiple elements, you may need to use for loop, okay? But if you need to modify elements, do use while loop, okay? Wherever you want to delete or modify elements, do use while loop in a list, okay? And also like Python will find it tough to track elements if you use for loop. I mean, it will find it very tough. So in that case, so understand this rule. Whenever you want to modify a list, right? List means multiple elements in a list. Do not use for loop, use while loop. I will show you some examples of that better to make you understand. Now, in this case, what we are doing is we are getting a list of numbers from user. Okay. So we have to, so if you remember in my last video, I told you how to take multiple inputs from, so I told you like how to take inputs as a list. So if you want to take a list as an input, how to take it? I told you you can separate it by space and take it. But then is another good way also of taking it. How? Let's see. If I want to get a list of numbers from users, what I will do is I will write this program numbers equal to list this, because I will store the numbers in a list. Okay, I will set while true, so I will keep on taking numbers, number equal to input, enter a number, and of course you can also mention it here if you want to, like in the like, so right hand side if you see, right, I have wrote enter a number and type quit when done. So I can also do this, it's better for user, right? Type quit when done. Okay. Now, of course, you know one thing that, see, I have used single quotes here. So I have to write this quote in double quotes. I cannot use single quotes here, right? Try to use it and you will see the error. Now, of course, if number equal to quit, of course, I will break it when the user types quit, break. Okay. Otherwise, else, I will numbers, I will take the input from user and append, so insert it into the list in number. But I want integer, so basically this will take the input as string, I will convert into integer. At last I will print numbers. So this is how you can take it basically a list from in user also. Okay, 1 again 2 3 4 5. Okay, I will type quit now. I just want to enter 5 numbers. See, I got a list of 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so this is, I mean, just an example of how you can use while with basically here I'm using while here and also list here. So of course we know that we are modifying this list here. We are modifying this numbers is a list. Append is basically modifying that list. It is inserting new numbers into the list. So whenever you are doing this type of stuff, like modifying a list, do use while loop for that. And of course, while loop is used because you are modifying a lot of numbers there. Okay, do take care of this. And of course, so this is good example. In this case, you can also take, I mean, numbers. Okay, leave numbers. You can also take example as names. Okay, This is also useful, like names, okay? Names. So names is a string. We should not convert it into integer, okay? Name. No, change it to name, okay? Print names. So in this case, I want to take multiple strings as input from the user. That is because names are strings, right? So first I will take Shivam. Okay, enter a number. Just change this to enter a name. Okay, no issue. Shivam. Okay, number is not okay. This is not number. This should be name. Okay, let me change all the code. Enter a name. Okay, now run it. Shivam. Okay, Anil. Okay. Hmm. Shikha. Okay. Let me quit now. Okay. So see, we got a list of three names, Shivam, Anil, and Shikha. This is how you can take multiple strings as the input and store it in a list. Good use case of this, okay? Okay, let's say if we have to remove like, so if you have a list, let's say numbers equal to 1, 2, 1, 3, 1. Now I am asking you that please remove all the instances of 1. So 1, this one, this one. Remove this all this 1 from the list. How will you do this program? Okay. So you will think that okay, in the list video I have told you how to remove an input from the, so how to remove an element from the list. I told you there is a function called remove. So do not look at my code this side, right hand side. First focus on this. So you what you will do is you will say that number dot remove 1 I will use. Okay, try to use this and print numbers. So our use case is to remove all this one, this one, this one, this one, all these three ones you need to remove. Now, if you run this code, what will happen? No. So what actually happened is, so this remove will only remove one instance of this one. Okay. So this will only remove this one, but it will not remove this one and this one. That's why you see 2131 is there, like 2131 is still there, but this one got removed. So how to remove all these ones? How we can do this? That is, we'll use a while loop. So we will check if the number 1 is in the list or not. So while 1 in numbers. So this is basically checking the answer. So basically this is a conditional statement. The answer will be true or false. If 1, the element 1 is there in numbers, the answer will be true. If 1 is not there in numbers, the answer will be false. So initially, of course, 1 is there, right? There are 3 ones. So answer will of course be true. So it will go inside the while loop. I will use numbers dot remove 1. Okay. Okay, I will explain you in some time. Just wait. Run this code, and you see all the now your output is 2, 3. All the ones got removed from this number. So what actually happened? So it will go to the while loop. It will see that 1 in the numbers. Yes, this one is there. This one, all 3 are there. So it will do numbers or remove 1. So of course we know this remove function will remove only the first instance of 1. So of course this one will. So what you can do is also you can print numbers here to understand more. Okay, and we will do print end. That means we have ended this while loop. Then we will print numbers again. Okay, see this now. Sorry, this. Sorry. Okay. Now let me run. Okay, why did it get stuck? Let me just. Okay, now you can see the output. So what happened in the first case? It will remove the first one. Okay, and the numbers will become 2131. Okay, but it will while it will go to line number 2. It will check while 1 in numbers. Of course, numbers is this now, this thing, but 1 is still there, right? 2 ones are there. So of course this condition will be true. It will again go inside this and remove this one which is there. This one it will remove this, and after this you see the output as 231 because this one also got removed. Again, it will go to while loop. While 1 in numbers, yes, 1 is still there in numbers here, right? 1 is still there. Again, it will do numbers dot remove 1. So it will remove this one. It will remove this one and print numbers. Now 2, 3 got printed. Again, it will go inside the while loop. Line number 2, it will check while 1 in numbers. No, now 1 is not there in the list. Like 2 and 3 are there. 1 is not there. So while loop will break. I mean, so the control will not go to line number 3 now. The control will go to line number 5 now. It will print end now. Okay. And at last, we will print the numbers. That's 2, 3. That's what we wanted. Okay. That's how we get the output. Okay. So this is good. So whenever you are modifying a list, so in this case, we are of course removing some numbers from the list. So we are modifying a list. Okay. That's why I have used while loop. The next one is filling a dictionary with user input. Sometimes I mean, see, this while loop can be used everywhere for strings, for numbers, for dictionaries, for list, whatever input you want to take, you can take. Okay. So what we will do now is we will basically use while loop and we will basically fill a dictionary with user input. How to do this? This is basically we are asking the user for tell me country and the capital name. Okay, user will basically enter some country and also the capital name for that, and we will store that and show to the user. Okay, quite simple program. So I am responsive. So this is responsive. What user is responding. I will print. So I will store the countries and capital in this dictionary. And at last I will print this. Okay. So initially flag equal to true. No, do we need to use flag here? The answer is no. We can use break also, right? So, okay, I will not use the flag here. I will use while true. And both the code are same that I am writing on the left on the right. Both are true. But of course, I will ask for user country input, enter a country name. Okay, enter a country. Okay. I will also ask for the capital of this country. Capital. Copy paste. Enter the capital basically of this country. Basically you can write it in a meaningful way, right? In the on the right hand side I have written it in a meaningful way. It's okay. Maybe just expand this. Okay, now basically okay, now what we will do is we will store this in a dictionary. That response is country equal to capital. For basically for I'm storing it in a dictionary form, like for key where key is the country and capital is the value, right? Equal to capital. Now to the user we will ask that so we have to ask the user whether they want to provide more inputs or not, or whether they want to quit. Okay, this is a good way of asking this. You will see it in real life programs. This way they will ask actually. So repeat equal to input. We'll ask user, would you like to add more country capital? Okay, we'll ask this to the user. Answer in yes or no. Okay. Now, basically, we are asking the user that tell me, do you want to input more countries or capital or not? If the user says yes, we will ask for more input. If the user says no, we will quit. I mean, basically, we will not ask again. We will end the program. We will check if repeat equal to no. That means basically we know that user does not want to continue. If I mean his or her answer is no, we will break this while loop. Okay. Otherwise, we will continue. Basically, we will do nothing. We will continue. Okay. Let me just, okay. And at last, we will print this for country capital in responses dot item. This is the way to print dictionaries, like key and value of dictionary that I have covered in the dictionary video. You can watch that. Print. I will use F string here. Country equal to country and capital equal to capital. Okay. Okay. Let me run this. Oh, okay. I didn't end this F string. It should also end with single quote. So that's why error. Enter a country. Okay. India. Okay. Enter the capital. New Delhi. Let's say. Okay. Would you like to add more country capital? It is asking. Let me do one more. Yes. I will take enter a country more. UK. I think the capital is London. I think. If I am wrong, please correct me in the comments, Simon. Okay. Now, would you like to add more country capital? 2 is enough, right? You can continue more. But I do not remember many countries and capitals. So, okay, I will press no. I don't want to enter. 2 is enough for me. I will enter no and press enter. Okay. So, of course, the program basically this while loop will break, because if you see if repeat equal to no, when the user types no, break. This while loop will break. Now the control will go to line number 9. And of course, what this is doing is this is just printing country and capital. So it printed country equal to India, capital equal to New Delhi, whatever I have given the input. The second is country equal to UK and capital equal to London. So that's how this is good use case of how to store it in a dictionary, and also this is good use case of asking the user in yes or no whether, because in the previous examples we were telling him like whether you want to quit, we are asking right quit right when you want to terminate. That is also not very bad, but better to ask in yes or no always, right? Whether they want to continue or not. If they say no, just break the while loop. If they're asking like, if you want to continue, keep on asking them. Okay, this is a good example of that. So do practice this problem, Simon. So do not just see my code. Do write this code, understand what's happening in each of this. If you have any doubts, do ask me in the comments because you should make your basics strong. That's what I have told you initially, right? So this is done. While loop is done. So of course I have used while loop also here, and I have also used input like in most of the programs here. So of course I have also revised you the concept of input that I have taught already in my last video. Okay. Now next video is on functions in Python, and that will be the last video. Okay. Now you will be happy that okay, I am finally going to complete this. But you are already doing great if you are learning this, because we have covered very important things. We have covered variables in Python, we have covered lists in Python, for loop in Python, dictionaries in Python, tuple in Python, then of course this taking input in Python, while loop in Python, and the next will be functions in Python. So if you know all these concepts, right, you will be able to write simple programs. You will be able to write those Python programs for sure. And we will cover more important concepts. It's not that this is the end of Python. Like once I am done with functions, it's not the end of Python. After covering functions, I will have like 2 or 3 videos where I will show you how to solve problems using Python, how to write code, actual code. I will give you a question. Of course, I will solve it for you, but I will first ask you to solve, and I'll solve that myself. Of course, I will also give assignments to you. That way you will learn how to code, how to do practice in Python, right? So of course, the next one is function in Python. That will be the last part of this basic Python tutorial series. And I will cover more advanced concept in maybe a separate playlist, right? It should be separate because this is for basic. If somebody wants to understand basic of Python, at once he or she is done with function, that's enough. After that, I will cover more concept later on. Okay. So do watch the next video also. I will upload it in some time. So do watch it. So that's all for this video. And if you did understand the content well, if you did not understand, do ask me in the comments, of course. So do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and also do not forget to provide your feedback, provide a like here on my video, so that of course my videos can rank higher in YouTube also. And also it gives more visibility to my video, right? So that more people find this video and they can also learn from it. So that's all for this video. Thank you.